Hey, do you like roly-polies? You know, those little creatures that you used to find in the school playground? They curled up into little balls before you ate them. Yeah, you know what I mean. Well, this video is about their distant cousin, the Simothoa exigua, otherwise known as the tongue-eating isopod. This ocean roly-poly is far more interesting and twisted than any other creature on this planet, besides women and the people that make sweet pickles. These creatures belong to the crustacean order Isopoda, and like I mentioned before, they're distantly related to woodlice, or roly-poly. Unlike woodlice, however, the Simothoa are roly-poly fish nightmares. When several of these individuals colonize onto a fish, they begin to feed on its gills. Once a fish has been parasitized, some of the males will change into females, by choice, just like homosexuality in the voting Democrat. Now, males will only change into females if there are no females present, and mating usually takes place on the gills or within the fish's mouth. Either before or after, depending on the species, a female will invade the fish's mouth and begin to suck blood. Extracting blood from the fish's tongue can eventually cause the tongue to wither away, like Pat Robertson, except less cool. After the fish's tongue is gone, the female roly-poly will stay behind and persist on bits of mucus and blood that remains in the fish's mouth. Now, don't be alarmed, folks. During all this time, the fish is still able to function. Why? Because a female Simothoa functionally replaces the tongue. They become one. Eventually, the female's young emerge as free-living males and disperse to find a new fish. With all this being said, don't be alarmed. You may find these creatures in cans of tuna fish, as they've been known to attach themselves to tuna fish tongues, but they are harmless and they will not attach themselves to your tongue. So how does this prove God's fine-tuned universe, you ask? Easy. God designed these fish to allow these parasites to replace their own tongues. Yup, he designed it that way. If you watch my last video, you'll see this perfect form of parasitism with an anglerfish, except theirs was all about sex. You see, if this process did not happen, then these poor ocean roly-polies would just die. If that happened, what would be the purpose of their existence anyway? And why would God create a creature without purpose? All of God's creatures have a purpose, and so do we. Their purpose is to have sex and reproduce, and ours is to stay celibate and preach the words of the almighty Jesus Christ. My only hope is that God will allow these creatures to evolve enough so we can preach the word of God to them as well. Now, before I go, I want to thank my assistant pastor, Jay Crowfoot, for helping me out with this video. He's been on probation for the last 2 months because his wife caught me and him preaching at a strip club. Now, I did the best I could to get him out of this sticky situation, but his wife was on to us. Stay tuned, there's a blooper after these credits.
And thanks for watching.
Now, I did the best I could to get him out of this sticky situation. Oh, fuck.